Preparations underway for burial of soldiers murdered in Delta State. President Tinubu tells judiciary to treat kidnappers as terrorists.
Mercy.
CBN, EFCC probe banks, firms over alleged forex racketeering. And lastly, Guinea-Bissau former president's son jailed in the United States. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Martia Uber. Thank you for... Now, preparation for the burial of the 17 soldiers killed in Delta State are entombed here at the National Cemetery in Abuja. And the President, Tinubu, is expected to grace this solemn event to pay last respect to the fallen heroes. And our correspondent, Sagir Ibrahim, is live at the National Cemetery, Abuja, to give us a feel of what's happening there at the moment.
They are coming up now. Hello?
Hello, Sagir. Thank you for joining.
Good afternoon, my dear.
Good afternoon to you. So give us a feel of what's happening at the National Cemetery in preparation for the burial of the soldiers that were slain in Delta State.
Well, yes, my dear. It's quite a sunny afternoon here at the National Military Cemetery, where we've come to witness the interment of the 17 soldiers who were unfortunately ambushed and killed in Okoma community in Delta State some 1 week ago or thereabouts. Well, the arrangement is in place. If my cameraman could pan, you see that around that area is where the interment will be taking place. And the president is expected to arrive around 4 p.m. this afternoon. And we're also expecting some other top government functionaries, including the heads of the security agencies, including the Chief of Defense Staff, the Chief of Army Staff, the Inspector General of Police, and the like. The National Security Advisor will also be here, as well as the governors of Bayelsa, Delta, and Kano State. So far, it's basically preparations here right now. The bands were playing, some songs earlier, but activities, as we know, is yet to start.
Okay, have you noticed the family members trooping into the National Cemetery at the moment?
Yes, I noticed one or two of them, and I believe they're seated somewhere behind me, but we've not noticed an influx of most of them yet, but some of them are currently present, waiting for the ceremony to commence in earnest.
So are we experiencing some sort of gridlock along Kermajiji axis due to this very important occasion?
Okay, so basically we came here quite early enough to avoid that gridlock. But from what we know, because the president will be, attending this interment, there might be a network jam of some sort. So network services will be unavailable, especially when the president arrives. But as for gridlock, at the time we arrived at the premises, the Kermajiji axis was quite free traffic-wise.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm sure we'll connect with you again when the president arrives and when the event starts properly.
Indeed. Thank you very much for having me.
And now moving on, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has urged the judiciary to be firm in its judgment against kidnappers and treat these individuals involved in such despicable act as terrorists. The president spoke on Tuesday at an entire dinner with members of the judicial arm of government led by Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwola. He described kidnapping as a reprehensible act which must be met with a strong resolve. A correspondent from the State House, Kehinde Amode, has more in this report.
President Tinubu has continued to meet with members of different arms of government in the course of the Ramadan fast. This time around, he's meeting with a delegation from the judiciary, made up of 7 retired officers, including 2 former Chief Justices of Nigeria, Justices Mahmood Muhammad and Walter Onogen. He has chosen to pass a strong message on this occasion.
Let's take very strong action against this people. They become cowardly, they have been degraded, they look for soft targets, they go to backyard of, local schools, kidnap children and create disaffection. We must treat them equally as terrorists.
The president also shares insights into what motivated the review of salaries of judicial officers by his administration.
You can't blame me. I have to see it from compensatory, fair angle that will be beneficial. And you can't say you fighting corruption and not put teeth into the spine. It's not the proper way to go.
Both the Chief Justice of Nigeria and the Attorney General of the Federation are acknowledging the president's efforts to improve the welfare of judicial officers in the country.
For the first time, the administration now has the full complement of the Supreme Court. We are 21 justices now. It has never happened this way. Your Excellency approved all of them, and you've made payment for so many things for them. They are getting more and more comfortable.
The salaries and emoluments of judges of various courts have been comatose for quite some time, since 2007. It takes a man with great heart, determination, and consideration to do what you have just done. More than 300.2% increase has been given to the judges.
The call on the judiciary for stronger action against kidnappers is a key thrust of the administration to reduce insecurity across the country. But beyond that, the response of the judiciary on this occasion reflects the efforts of the Tinubu administration to maintain harmony between the 3 arms of government. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amudu, Trust TV News.
Viral TikTok videos showing a bandit flaunting ransom money have sparked widespread anger. Security analyst Zagozola Makama highlighted these videos, expressing concern over the platform's role in promoting terror. Social media users criticized authorities for the delayed response and called for improved security measures. Many expressed frustrations over the apparent inability to trace the ransom money, reflecting deep concern over insecurity in the country. Now, the people of Omagwa and Igbo communities in Ikwere local government area of Rivers State have barricaded the entrance of the Port Harcourt International Airport while protesting lack of power supply and other amenities. The protest has disrupted flight operations as air travelers were stranded just as the situation caused a gridlock stretching from the airport road to adjoining communities. The protesters, who trooped out as early as 7 a.m. on Wednesday, lamented that despite hosting the international airport and suffering from noise pollution daily, they're not paid any form of compensation and there are no good schools in the area. One of the protesters, simply identified as Oki, accused the airport authorities of neglect, saying that this community has not seen light for 10 years. And the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Cardoso, has revealed that security agencies, including the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, are currently investigating questionable foreign exchange allocations and forward contracts previously estimated at $2.4 billion. The Apex Bank, according to him, is providing the necessary documents to help investigation. The development followed the conclusion of the audit of $7 billion debt that was inherited by Cardoso-led CBN and the previous administration of the Apex Bank. The new administration of the Apex Bank had engaged a global firm, Deloitte, to carry out an audit of the $7 billion debt. Now, the Bauchi State Governor, Senator Bala Mohammed, has pardoned 96 convicted inmates from the various correctional facilities across the state. Speaking during the Freedom Day ceremony, which was held at the banquet hall of the Government House, Bauchi, Governor Mohammed said that the decision to pardon the inmates was recommended by the State Advisory Committee on Prerogative of Mercy, and it aims at decongesting correctional facilities across the state to ensure due compliance with the law to avoid negative impacts. The state's chief executive officer urged the pardoned inmate to be law-abiding and grab a legitimate endeavor to earn a living. It disclosed that his administration had been working to improve economic activities, especially for youths, to be useful to the state. The World Bank reports that 60 million Nigerians lack basic drinking water, with water scarcity hitting Abuja particularly hard. In rural communities, children often must choose between fetching water and attending school. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail in this report takes a look at how this scarcity affects their education, health, and their future. Take a look.
16-year-old Samson Shasu, a JSS2 student with dreams of studying electrical engineering, faces significant challenges due to water scarcity in his community of Gumbo, Abuja. He often misses early morning lessons because he has to travel a long distance to fetch water to support his family. This dilemma highlights the harsh reality that many students like Samson endure, where necessities conflict with educational aspirations. Efforts to alleviate water scarcity in such areas are crucial to ensure that students like Samson can pursue their education without undue hardship.
To fetch water like 10 buckets, and before I'm done with the fetching, before I went to school, I would be late. So it took so long time to finish the domestic work. So and before I reach the school, people is already in the class, so I miss some lessons. So if I'm late, the teacher will beat me and give me some punishments.
The parents of 16-year-old Samson are deeply concerned about the impact of water scarcity on their child's education. The constant struggle to secure enough water for their large family is exhausting and threatens to disrupt Samson's schooling. This situation highlights the urgent need for solutions to alleviate water scarcity in their community, ensuring that families can access the resources they need without compromising their children's education and future prospects.
In my house, I have 2 wives, and I have almost 10 children here with me. Then we consume like 6 drums in a day. At times they used to come and complain, and there is nothing I alone can do.
Although Gumbo is said to have a large population of over 1,000 people, it has only 4 hand-pump boreholes, which are inadequate to meet the needs of the community. When the boreholes are faulty, this pond becomes the last resort for the community.
The coming of FCT entirely, in fact, they've done a lot, but still, it is not enough. Why? Simple because if you see this area now, we are battling with only single borehole, on which if we have up to 3 or 4, only to this side is not bad.
Samson Shasu, driven by his ambition to become an electrical engineer, remains hopeful that authorities will take action to resolve the water scarcity in his village. His wish is for an end to the daily struggle of fetching water, which currently forces him to sacrifice valuable learning time. Samson's determination exposes the critical need for addressing water scarcity in communities like his, ensuring that young minds can focus on their education and pursue their dreams without unnecessary obstacles.
Women need to leave their homes and children to be here, and indeed it is affecting the progress of children's education as it relates to the issue of 16-year-old Samson Shasu, who needs to be here to fetch some water before he gets time to go to school, and it is challenging. Their hope is that the authorities concerned will come to their aid. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're still watching the news updates on Trust TV. Coming up shortly after the break, we'll take a look at Lagos mainland community residents lamenting demolition of houses. Details of this story and more after the break. Stay with us. You're welcome back. You're still watching the news updates on Trust Television. But a look at our major stories again. We told you earlier the preparations on the way for burial of soldiers murdered in Delta State. And the President Tinubu tells judiciary to treat kidnappers as a terrorist. And moving on to more news, residents of Imo State, especially those living along the Poly-Nekede-Ihiagwa axis of Owerri, have expressed displeasure over the indiscriminate dumping of refuse at a site in their community. This followed the overflow of refuse at the site, which many of them should no longer serve as refuse dumping site. Trust TV's Ajibade Praise was at the site and filed in this report.
A visit to the dump site revealed a huge heap of refuse with both fresh and decayed trash dumped indiscriminately, confirming the claim of the residents that the site poses severe danger to their lives. While residents call for an immediate intervention by waste management agencies, this civil and social activist is calling for the outright stoppage of dumping of refuse at the site.
Really, I'm not happy about the refuse because it's affecting us in many areas. Even we lose customers because of it, because of the smells, you understand? So, we're not happy about it.
Road is about 7.5 kilometers, 7.5 meters wide. Presently now it's operating at 3.5 meters wide, which is half of the road width. The road is also a very busy area where heavy trucks like 700 tons vehicles ply. Today they struggle amidst lots of accidents because of overflown refuse.
Because it's really affecting people living around this area. Even the people doing business, like here in my shop, I mean, people find it difficult to park their car around. The kind of the order that we are receiving from the dustbin is so terrible.
They maintained that since the place which used to be a gully site is now filled and the land reclaimed, there is need to desist from further dumping of refuse at the site.
We have to end the dump site and get a new dump site where refuse could be built. I want to commend the effort of His Excellency, the Governor of Imo State, to have appointed immediately an interim committee that is overseeing refuse disposal in Imo State currently. So, but I want to charge them to do their job efficiently. I want to charge them to look at various areas and commit action to removing some of those refuse sites that are littered here and there.
The government should remove this dustbin here and bring it, take it to another place. But it's really affecting people staying here.
I want you to remove the dustbin so that they will use it and build the supermarket, any free station and organization that will help us so that we have a good health here.
Though the maintenance has lingered for a while now, with refuse almost claiming the ever-busy Poly-Nekede-Ihiagwa road, the people are hopeful that their call will reach the appropriate quarters and a solution will come in matter of days. Ajibade praise. Trust TV News, Owerri.
And away from Owerri now in Imo State, let's move to Lagos, where economic hardship is biting hard. And the Lagos State government has demolished houses in Oto, Lagos mainland community in Ebutemeta West, leaving residents of the community homeless. This has worsened their plight, as many are not just struggling for food, but shelter as well. The report.
The pathetic situation of residents of Oto, Lagos mainland community following the demolition has sparked outrage and left many without shelter. As a result, many now sleep outside as their abodes have been demolished.
Even though the demolition will come in a community, it should have been a negotiation with the people in the community. It's not bad if the kings and the Lagos State have meeting with the people in the community. If they want to chase people out of community, they should not chase them as an animal. We have a government of the people, by the people. But the government we have these days are the government of the people that are using power on the people.
Judgment is there for everybody to see that at least both parties should go and meet and see how we can. That is just the judgment. And now nobody's talk about the judgment. And this Friday, last Friday, you just see the Labaka, that is Labka. They start demolishing property ablaze.
The residents urge the government to come to their aid by providing shelter for them.
The houses outside, they are not affordable for us. We can't afford them. A lot of us are sleeping outside the main road, outside, even as we are like this. All our properties are lost and everything. We are outside, inside the rain. As I'm a single mom of two. I'm trying to live my life, a standard life at least. I don't want the community where I came out from to determine my future. I'm managing myself to even run the part-time program in Laspotech. Now all my everything are being chartered. As a last final year student now, I don't even know. I don't have any hope if I'm going to finish. If I'm going to even sign out this year with this that is going on, I don't have any hope anywhere because I've not paid my school fees. I've not done anything. The only hope I have is here, and now the hope is being chartered. They just came all of a sudden one afternoon, unannounced. We are begging, we are praying, we are begging them they should please, and please, we need adequate house. If the development is coming up, we should be included in it.
Make them recognize us and make them do better for all, both the tenants, both the landlord, both everybody. But we are suffer. We are suffer. Make them recognize us. See, the rain fall yesterday. We are inside the rain. It's all right.
They also called for compensation to enable them look for alternative accommodations.
Now, let's move away from Lagos now, where private sector operators say the hike in Nigeria's monetary policy rate, also known as interest rate, from 22.75% by the Central Bank of Nigeria will further accelerate the country's inflation and lead to massive job cuts across the country. The Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture and the Nigerian Association of Small-Scale Industry explained that the increase in the MPR would worsen the private sector's ability to access affordable credit, while they described the interest rate hike as a move that would come with unintended negative consequences. The Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry said that the MPR hike was a price that businesses would have to pay, given the current state of the economy. The CBN again increased the MPR to 24.75% from 22.75%, despite concerns about economic hardship. Now, the son of the former president of Guinea-Bissau has been sentenced to more than 6.5 years in prison for involvement in transnational heroin trafficking conspiracy. The U.S. Department announced this on Tuesday that the 52-year-old Malam Bakai Sana Jr. planned to use the proceeds to finance a coup in the West African country that would lead to his eventual presidency and establishment of a drug regime. The statement said Sana was a leader and organizer in the heroin trafficking conspiracy and was involved in its importation from Europe to the United States, according to the statement. He was arrested alongside with a conspirator after arriving in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania in July 2022 and were extradited to the United States shortly afterwards. Now to sports, where Nigeria Super Eagles suffered a 2-0 defeat to the Les Aigles of Mali in their second international friendly match on Tuesday night in Marrakesh, Morocco. It was a night to forget for legendary Finidi George-led squad as they fell behind the first half and struggled all through to get an equalizer, only to concede yet another goal late on. The AFCON 2023 vice champions had their wings clipped by the tactical sound Malian side with goals from youngsters El Bilal Touré and Kamori Doumbia on either side of the interval, who handed Mali a memorable win and denied Finidi George his most desired second victory as Super Eagles interim coach. And that brings us to the end of the news update. For more programming and documentary, don't forget to follow our live stream on YouTube and of course follow us on all our social media platforms. I am Martia Umar. On behalf of the news crew, I'd like to say thank you for watching and stay tuned.